fucking go! You're listening to Bread Circuses.
It's like the mob media, for one, is the entire world populated. Like, everybody's on Twitter. Fucking the UK is on Twitter. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
unfortunately.
With Caleb Salvatore.
Well, they can't go to the comedy shows because there's a 2-drink minimum, and you can't mix the Percocet you've been stealing from work with liquor.
And Nick Kohler.
There literally be people in the fucking 80s that didn't know that nutting in a girl would make her pregnant.
No one's asked that question. What did those families do to provoke Alex Jones like that?
You know what'll solve all of these racial police protests? A Pepsi.
What the fuck is up, friends? Welcome to this week's episode of Bread Circuses. I am your host, the newly engaged Caleb Salvatore.
And I am your co-host, the oldly divorced Nicholas Kohler.
Well, now you just brought a damper on the mood.
Yeah, no, don't let me, man. Caleb's way better off than I am, that's for sure.
I can't wait to be one of those comics that just bitches about his wife on stage for 25 minutes. I'm looking forward to it. And then a couple years, I'll be able to bitch about my wife and kids on the stage.
Yeah, I'm at the point right now where I could maybe make some jokes about being a kid, but like I'm like a really not typical dad that I go to college and like I'm kind of a stay-at-home dad, where there's not a lot of dads like that out there.
Yeah.
So
my daughter walks in and that kind of
my daughter walks in and she tells me, "Dad, there's no more Coke in the fridge." And I say, "What do you mean?"
Just that hacky shit. Yeah. I can't wait. That's everyone's like, oh,
funny, man. It used to be, I mean, you watch old like comedy specials from like the 90s, even early like 2000s and stuff. Like a lot of the comedians around my age and kind of your age were already making stuff about like their wives and stuff, man. Like people just got married and had kids a lot younger than they like kind of do now.
Oh yeah, so people wait longer now. And I was reading this article about it. They're like, why don't millennials buy homes or start families as early as previous? I'm like, because we can't fucking afford to. Because everything's so goddamn expensive. That's why.
Property's really expensive. I mean, honestly, I think that the whole stay-at-home work from home movement thing will be the best for our generation trying to buy homes, because now we can go buy homes in smaller property or like small towns or like move out of the city proper area. Because I know like the small town I went to high school through and stuff, dude, it seriously has like a population decline. But now, like, if I can work from home there, I would live in a cheap house there. Sure. Like if they had a grocery store, they'd have everything that you would need, which they don't have one because the population's been shrinking.
You grew up in Springfield, right?
No, Elmwood. Elmwood's even smaller than Springfield, man.
How far out is that from like Omaha, Lincoln?
It's like 40 minutes east of Lincoln. So if you travel like down O Street in Lincoln, which for non-Lincoln natives, or Omaha, it's kind of like Dodge, where it goes like literally through the entire city east to west. Yeah. But it eventually turns into Highway 34, and Highway 34 goes out through a small town called I can't think of it off the top of my head. Eagle.
Oh yeah, Eagle. Yeah. Eagle Hollow. Eagle Hollow.
No, it's just Eagle. It's just Eagle. Yeah. And Eagle's a little bit bigger than Elmwood is, but if you guys are ever driving through there, man, there's always a fucking state trooper at the top of the hill over there. So if you're driving east out of Lincoln, be fucking careful, otherwise they're gonna pull you over. But then you go another 20 minutes that way, and then you're basically at my mom's place. So. Yeah.
Well, now you know how to stalk Nick's mom.
Yeah. Well, you have to take some back roads, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Like you're not going to find it just with that, because like there's a ton of fucking houses spread out with like a mile radius of each other. But yeah.
Well, and GPS always fucks you up in those little.
Exactly. Yeah, it does. So especially when you get on the dirt minimum maintenance roads that make you feel like you're going to get attacked by the fucking engines out there.
The engine. All right. Well, YouTube ban. There we go. 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
That's code word, man. They don't know that. So
it's actual car engines come to life and just beat the shit out of you is what it is.
Mia's given permission for those kind of jokes. So.
She hasn't given me permission to say say that word, so I don't know.
Indians?
I've never asked. It's never come up in conversation. So,
really?
But yeah, no, that's I don't know, man. Like I think it has definitely changed the game because a company in California can pay somebody in Omaha, high wages for Omaha, but low wages for California. And they don't have to pay, you don't have to live out there and deal with California bullshit, and you can make better money than you would working in your field here. So
especially now, like out in Elmwood, for example, it's a town probably about of like 600 people, right?
Yeah.
It's not, it's classified as a village according to the census, actually. Yeah. But I mean, they have internet now, almost as good as the city.
Internet.
I know. They didn't have that. Well, when I was going to high school out there 10 years ago, man, the internet was like behind by like 10 years, but now it's pop fine. You know what I mean?
That's now we're fucking dude. Internet sucks everywhere. That's the problem. We had a deal with CenturyLink. It was down, and she works from home, so I had to I was stressing trying to get it up, and I was calling them and shit, and fucking CenturyLink, biggest provider in the city, doesn't have. Do you
think CenturyLink is, or do you think Cox is?
They're 1 and 2, regardless. They don't have a 24-hour customer service line.
Really?
8 to 5, Monday through Friday. There's no customer service on Saturday.
Are you serious? I remember when I had CenturyLink up. That must be recent because when I had CenturyLink up in Omaha, I remember they had an outage line, and I talked to like an Indian lady when I was doing it.
I'm sure they blame COVID or some shit now.
Maybe,
yeah. They fucking.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, it's not like the whole country runs on the internet. You're the second biggest, or either the biggest or second biggest in the city. You think you'd want to have, at least someone in India who could tell me to go fuck off. But that's,
I wonder how big. So Comcast is the largest national wide, right?
Yeah.
Then Charter, AT&T, Verizon. CenturyLink is the fourth largest nationally. Okay. And they don't even do CenturyLink down here in to El Paso. It's all ran by Spectrum, which used to be Time Warner.
Yeah.
So, which honestly, dude, I've had like very minimal issues with Spectrum. I'm a big fan of that. I hope that if I ever move back up to Nebraska, that they're back up there.
Yeah.
Somebody told me sometime though that like ISPs, like internet service providers, basically like carve out sections of the country.
Yeah, they do.
And they don't intrude on each other's territory.
They don't fuck with their turf. Yeah.
And it kind of like gets rid of like competition between them. Like,
yeah. Antitrust violations. It's always fun.
Which I don't know if that's true, but it's kind of fishy that, you don't see like the bigger cities always have like specific ISPs. It's just kind of weird. Like,
yeah, that's, and it might just be that they feel like it's like a futile effort to go in, and you have to lay down all the cable and shit, and
lay down the pipe,
just like the plumber, That's how you make it work out there. But yeah, so fuck, I've totally lost what I was gonna say. Oh, that's what's the update? Did you see the fucking teacher in Texas? How all this shit's going down? For the shooting?
No, but I have been enjoying all the people clowning on that local police department there.
Oh, well, they're clowns. Absolutely.
I heard that the Department of Justice is actually investigating that police department.
Yeah,
now.
And they've, as of today, have come out and said they refuse to cooperate in the investigation.
Which that's not how that works. So.
No. It's like, okay, then you're just going to jail. Like, that's not.
People are going to lose. The police chief's going to be probably a new person by next year. Like,
oh yeah, fucking by next month. That's
yeah.
But no, there was a teacher went outside, and I heard it was to smoke a cigarette, and then the story's changed so many times, but a teacher propped the back but a teacher propped the back door open, and that's how the guy got in. There was a teacher left the door open and like shut it, but it didn't lock properly, and that's how the guy got into the building. So
really,
and then it's also, there was no resource officer. Initially, they said that he was engaged by a resource officer who fled. There was no resource officer.
Oh yeah, and we were like laughing that Paul
Blart
sucked. Yeah, it was Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Yeah, no, Paul Blart would have taken a bullet, absolutely. But no, he was engaged by it. But there was no cop, there was no resource officer, there was none. So that's been the updates on that. So
I love how like literally everything that could have gone wrong, wherever any you know, because this has just become super politicized, like every other thing that happens. But it's like everything that people are like, this would have stopped this from happening, stopped, like didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. Every single thing, you know. And then there was another
man, like
another shooting this morning in New Orleans at a high school graduation. You know what they say, man? The devil works hard, but the CIA works harder. So
kind of crazy, right? Like
it is really, really weird that all this shit's happening right.
You would think that, like, dude, I went to drove to campus today to go turn in a book before I left, and my freaking they do all the big high school graduations up at UTEP's like big arena there. And dude, they had like armed security and stuff all over the place up there, man. And I was like, good, like they should, but
that's what it should be.
I was like, why? How is this not the standard? Like, you know what I mean? Especially with everything going on right now, dude.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. That's what you would think, but like, I don't know, man. It is really weird that all this shit's happening right before the Supreme Court's about to issue a big ruling on gun control. I think it's really weird, really, really weird. You know, right? I saw a meme that said Switzerland has almost as high of a gun ownership rate as the U.S. Why don't they have any mass shootings? And it said underneath it, they don't have the CIA.
I mean, dude, it's like, dude, how does a 19-year-old kid, like, they usually when it comes to this stuff, they have all sorts of news reports about the shooter and everything, and like all this information comes out. How does this 18-year-old
work at Wendy's?
Yeah, how does this 18-year-old that works at Wendy's afford a $2,000 assault rifle?
And that, dude, that's the thing.
Equipment
is it wasn't like he had some fucking Anderson poverty pony AR, right? Like this was a Daniel Defense, which is like almost a $3,000 rifle, and he had another one, and plus he had almost 2,000 rounds. So, dude, you're talking close to $8,000 worth of shit this kid had. Like,
how's he even carrying around 8,000 rounds, man?
No, 2,000 rounds.
I was gonna say 2,000 is a lot of rounds, though, man. That's really heavy.
Yeah,
that's like 10. Yeah, that's like 10 saw drums, dude. Like carrying 2 of those is heavy. Like,
yeah, that's my thing is I'm just, where does he get all this shit?
So wait, did he have like 2,000 just like loose rounds, or were they all like loaded into mags?
They were in mags.
So he also had like however many 60,
PMags,
60
it was like
mags.
1,700 was the total that I read.
Then 1,700 over 30 is what? 1,700.
It's 56 magazines.
Yeah, that's 56 mags.
Fuck,
man.
How big was his backpack?
Yeah, and like, dude, 56 magazines is expensive, man. Like what, 56 times?
And they're like $15 a pop plus tax nowadays.
I was gonna say more like 20. So like,
yeah, under Biden,
20,
yeah.
That's an extra almost.
There's another $1,100.
Yeah, $1,100 right there, dude. That's on top of the gun and the equipment and everything.
2 guns. Yeah.
Sheesh, man. And that's like the pure weight of like.
He had a plate carrier on too with no armor. So that's another two.
Well, that's like another like 100. Nah, like just the regular plate carriers maybe.
I guess it depends where you go, but yeah. Right. But yeah, I mean, fucking like, it just doesn't add up. I mean, and everyone's pointing that, oh, he could have bought it on credit, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, how much credit? Like, yeah, you can buy shit on credit, but you have to have a credit score.
He's got like, $1,200 or $12,000 of credit.
They give out, and I know there's a thing, they give out those shitty credit cards to like 18-year-old kids, but that's only like $1,000 limit.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The bank's not going to let a kid run an $8,000 bill up on a credit card. Like,
not only that, but like all that would be trackable too. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, you'd be able to know.
News people would be able to just tell, like, yeah, he bought this all on credit. They would have the receipts for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they would be
able to tell. But that's not going to happen. And just like you have the cops that sat outside like a bunch of bitches, we're probably not going to hear it. Dude, this whole thing just has Vegas vibes to it, man. I've got a feeling.
The funny thing is, like, nobody talks about the Vegas thing anymore.
They have stopped. They don't even mention it.
They haven't even. When's the last time you heard anybody talk about the Vegas shooting, dude? Like, with that whole phony, like, nothing of that added up. Yeah, nothing of that added up at all.
Multi-millionaire just loses it.
Dude just pulls out like a bunch of ballistic glass out of a hotel and is able to get a bunch of guns up there and shoot a machine gun in, which is also a bump stock.
Even though the fucking autopsy footage only shows like 50 rounds on the ground.
Not only that, but the people showing video clips of it, that's clearly like an M240 machine gun shooting.
It's not only that, but you can clearly see two shooters in the video.
Can you? I've never seen that. I've only seen the people like recording it with their phones.
Yeah.
And like they'll play that next to somebody shooting an M240 versus somebody shooting like a bump stock. Mm-hmm. And the bump stock is way faster. Like bah, where that one's like like a 240.
Yeah, and that's exactly, and that's it sounds like an actual machine gun.
Yeah.
And then there was one video taken where you can see gunfire coming from two different levels. There's another one where there's a picture taken that was a bunch of cops that were like hiding in like tactical positions behind a vehicle and shit. And you zoom out and like you could see a camera filming, and it was a picture someone had taken from their cell phone. And then there were just people walking around. They were posing for a fucking after the fact. These cops were posing. If they were even cops to begin with. That was in Vegas. So, I mean, yeah, dude, the whole thing's got Vegas vibes to it. I mean, it's just, why on earth, on God's green earth, you're telling me every single cop in the force was a chicken shit that sat out there for 90 minutes? No, something's up, man. They were ordered to stand down. Yeah. There's no way.
Not only that, but they stopped people from coming in.
Arresting people. And then the fucking head cop for the city comes out and goes, yeah, we made the wrong decision. I'm like, that is the biggest understatement. Yeah.
Everybody around you would have that's outside looking in is like, yeah, dude, even the lefties are like, yeah, you guys, all the like defund the police people are even like, why didn't the police help them? I'm like, yeah, that's a really good question, man. Question.
and that's my thing, man, is you can't, as much as these people want to act like it, the police are just useless cowards, and gun control don't go hand in hand, man. Because if we can't rely on the police, then we got to be able to rely on ourselves. You know what I mean? Ask anyone that's ever been in a home invasion how long it took the cops to show up. You know, I bet they wish they had a gun on them. That's what's the average police response time in the U.S. is like 15 minutes, dude. It's ridiculous. A lot
can happen in 15 minutes.
Way too much can happen in 15. Haven't y'all seen Halloween? Like, come on. A lot of shit can happen.
Not only that, but I mean, cops mess up stuff too. It's like,
and that's exactly it. Do you really want to rely on someone else to show up and protect you? No one knows your home better than you.
I've seen all these articles being like, oh yeah, well, the police their training is horrible. They're like super underfunded and everything. I'm like, dude, you do realize like a lot of police departments in the United States have like a bigger budget than like some smaller countries' defense budgets are, right? The NYPD, their budget is like bigger than most like Eastern European countries' entire national defense budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm seeing these like a lot of big city cops. It's like I have always been critical of why the fact that riot police bought MRAPs, right? Like completely waste of city tax
because it looks cool.
Because it looks cool, yeah. Big armored vehicles, like it's made to design. It's designed around withstanding IED blasts,
right?
Just the fact that they can't even have them in the cities because you can't bury them in a fucking asphalt road.
Yeah.
Like, how are you gonna bury them in a front yard and just hope that riot police decide to drive over somebody's front yard? You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah. Then we're talking the Third Amendment comes into play there.
I know, right?
So, but yeah, no, and I keep seeing the excuse being made that they were in fear. The cops were in fear for their life, and I'm like, well, then, buddy, you're in the wrong profession. Go be an accountant.
Yeah, right. Go work at McDonald's. Go flip burgers.
Right. I understand it's a dangerous situation, but when you join the force, that's
protect
what you
and serve does not mean only when it's easy.
Yeah.
Only when you're pulling over somebody and arresting them for having a pinch of pot,
a gram of weed. Yeah, no,
and their cup holder. Like
that's exactly it, man. Protect and serve does not mean sit behind a tree and run people's plates until somebody goes 8 miles over the speed limit, and then see if they can say something stupid to get you to
call the dogs,
search the vehicle. Yeah, exactly.
And waste somebody's time for 2 hours while you search your vehicle without a warrant.
Or you find like a half an ounce of coke in it or something like that.
Probable cause. Yeah, you know how many times people say that the police abuse probable cause laws to like illegally search their vehicles, like
all the time. It's one of the gross infringements that they've done. But yeah, man, I don't know. This whole shooting, it just right out on the back of the Buffalo thing. It's just boom, 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 back to back to back. It's just really goofy to me. I don't know. I hate to play Alex Jones, but I just can't see any reason that you have 20 cops sit outside of a fucking school while people are being slaughtered. And not only do they not do anything, they actively stop anyone else that tries to do something. It was a border patrol agent that basically said, fuck this, and went in and just killed the guy. That's how it ended,
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane, dude. That sounds like a poorly written plot to a TV show on like CBS or something.
Right, where they were just trying to make like anti-cop propaganda.
Something where you watch that and you're like, that wouldn't happen in real life, dude. Are you kidding me?
It sure did.
Apparently.
It sure fucking did. It's disgusting. I can't even imagine. And then, they should all be thrown in prison. Every one of them should be an accessory to murder.
They at least need to be off the force, man. Like they've clearly shown that entire police department needs to be gutted. And this is why I've always said, or why we continuously say there needs to be more federal, what's the word?
Oversight?
Not oversight. Not more federal checking, like the fucking like at the banks, audits. Yeah, there needs to be more federal audits of police station or police departments because. People want to say like, oh God, it's going to add way more bureaucracy and everything. It's like, well, there's already a ton of that anyway. Two, it's like,
how about a state audit?
Yeah, dude.
Who watches
the Watchmen, man? Yeah. It needs to be somebody completely unrelated to them. So it has to be a federal audit. Yeah. There has to be a federal department, or whether it's a responsibility added to like the Justice Department or something, and all they do is just annually audit every police department in the United States.
Yeah.
Because you can't trust the state's good old boys to be watching the other good old boys. You know what I mean? There has to be some suit involved that it's completely impartial to whatever the bullshit that they're telling you.
Yeah. Or we just send in Ukraine's Unicorn Brigade.
Yeah, I know you sent me that text, man, and I looked at that and was like, yeah, that's propaganda, dude.
It has to.
There's a gay brigade? Like, dude, that doesn't happen in the military, man.
It has to, dude. It's seriously, they could. It's like some fucking trans Redditor wrote something up that wanted to say it was like fan fiction, and they probably fucking ran with it. Because it was Yahoo News. It wasn't some like fringe website. Like, here, let me see. Here we go. Ukraine's unicorn LGBTQ soldiers.
Look up who the author is of that and like show it.
Horace Garcia, Horaci.
Horace.
I'll pull her up.
Garcia.
Horace. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, I want to see who this journalist is.
There's not really any good picture.
It's on Yahoo, right? You said?
Yeah, I'm assuming this is her. I'll pull it up here, and I'll share it real quick. It just looks like a just normal woman. I'm assuming this is her because it says video journalist.
Probably.
Well, or maybe it's this guy. Because there's like pictures of him with a camera. So, yeah, Reuters journalist. Yeah, it's a dude. This is him. So yeah, that's the guy. Yeah.
That's him. Horacio Garcia.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's Horacio Garcia, and that was a typo. But yeah. So that's the guy who
sure, man. That's all I'll say is sure, man.
Yeah, so it says members of the Unicorn Brigade here. Let's pull just As volunteer fighters, Alexander, I'm not even trying to pronounce these names, pack for return to active duty. They contemplate a unicorn insignia that gives their uniform a rare distinction, a symbol of their status as an LGBTQ couple or Ukrainian soldiers. I'm going to go out here and say it, man. Ukraine,
go to war with homophobia, huh?
Ukraine and Eastern Europe as a whole are not exactly known for their tolerance toward the gays. I find it very hard to believe that they've got insignia and entire brigades out here fighting on behalf of gay rights. I really think that issue is actually taking a back burner given the fact that they're, being invaded and shit.
I always find it funny when they post like pictures of like I'm looking up this Forbes article and it's like Ukrainian LGBTQ soldiers are fighting against a Russian invasion, and it shows like a picture of a woman, like clearly a lesbian woman, but like her uniform is super clean and like her gear. It literally looks like somebody who just put on a uniform to pose for a picture, and that's it. Like
half the time that's what that shit is. Yeah,
you like when you see an actual soldier, dude, they're like let me see if I can just send you this picture like from this Forbes article here. I'll send it to you here. This is the picture that the Forbes article has. Let's see if you can
share it real quick. Yeah,
I'll
share it for you.
I'm going to point out everything as somebody that was a soldier. I'll point out to you everything that is wrong with that for somebody that's actually fighting Russia. Look at how clean her uniform is. For one. Two,
it looks like a recruiting ad.
It does, man. Look how clean she is.
Look how clean her gun is.
Look how her hair is like. That's not, if a woman is fighting in a war, her hair is going to be tied up to the back and stuff. Like that's a hairstyle that just asks to like get put in your face during like a fight, like a mortar round or something. Like,
is she wearing makeup?
Probably. I don't know, man. I can't tell by that photo, but she very well might be. So like, and look at like her gear on her chest. Like she doesn't even have any. It doesn't even look like she has any like grenades or rounds or anything on her. Like it literally looks like she's just holding a rifle.
It probably doesn't even have a magazine in it.
Oh, it does. You can see that orange magazine on the AK-74 there.
Yeah.
But dude, like real soldiers look jacked up because they've been fighting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even like if they're in the rear, their gear is kind of dirty and like stained from rolling around in mud and stuff. Like this literally looks like she put it on, like got issued today.
Yeah.
And why does she she has a radio then too? Like she's been there for one day. Like either she's not fighting or she's an actress. You know what I mean? Like,
hey, that is the ghost of Kiev.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
As in, it doesn't exist.
It's not real. It's not real.
You guys want to see like a pretty unbiased way of some like person covering the war,
RT,
or at least
Russian
attempts
TV.
to. No, I watch it. I watch a guy on Task and Purpose on YouTube. He does a lot of updates on like the fronts and stuff like that. And there apparently right now there's two major offensives going on in the Ukraine war, where Russia pulled a bunch of its troops from the south up to north to take this big city in the north, and then the Ukrainians are using that as that weakened southern line to push out in the south. So that's like what's going on right now. As of like yesterday is when I saw that update. So
what's this shit about Putin having cancer? Do you buy any of this?
I don't know, man. He's 70 years old. I can't imagine he's got like, I don't know, like apparently the Oliver Stone or whatever, right?
Yeah,
was doing like a documentary and said that he like casually told him he was fighting cancer. But
I could see it. I don't know. Some of the shit just seems weird. Like they told, like one of the articles I read said they told him he had 3 years to live. That's not a prognosis from a doctor. They tell you have like 6 months to live. You know what I mean? They never. They're like, you have 17 years to live. You know, it's like
I don't know.
3 years is a bold prognosis,
stuff, man. I don't ever know what to believe when it comes to Western journalism. I literally anything that comes out about the Ukraine war with Western journalism, I just like. I kind of skim through stuff, and I'm like, this is a bunch of bullshit.
Well, and that's part of the problem is you can't trust anything you read about the Ukraine shit anymore.
And Russia, one thing too is like Russia is known to like when they are in war and like when they've been fighting, especially with like the stuff going on in the Ukraine like 5-6 years ago, is there's this what's the Russian spy, the KGB? The KGB issue fights
new now, but yeah.
Well, they fight information wars, man. Like they spread disinformation on purpose to keep Western, like the enemy journalism, like not knowing what's going on. You know what I mean? And like these dickhead journalists at these supposed really reputable news sources that we have here in America, New York Times, New York Post, like all those great places. They take like little tidbits of rumor information that they got through like somebody tossing a crumpled piece of paper through their window at their office. And they're like, shoot, dude, let me type up
a Twitter account with 12 followers, and they
don't even care about the body of the news article. If you actually read through the news article,
there's no substance, there's no sources, nothing.
Yeah, and they just recycle a bunch of information that everybody already knows, like they're reporting it as fact. Like, I mean, like Russia, who has been fighting in the Ukraine for the past 20 years, like, you know, like the past 10 years or 8 years, who they invaded in the airport, and they're like, dude, this has been like everybody's known this for the past like 8 years, man. You're literally just chronicling what's happened over the past 8 years, and then there's some bullshit headline up there.
It has nothing to back it up. Yeah, just source from inside the Kremlin.
Source from inside the Kremlin says that Putin is actually a Hitler clone, and he has 2 penises.
Magic Johnson gave Putin HIV. it's that kind of stupid shit, you know. And I don't know, man. It's so hard because not only do they fucking lie through their teeth, or just, you know, maybe even give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they get bad information and run with it before they fact check it.
That just means they're stupid, and that's even worse.
But the problem is, when this shit comes out and it gets proven to be false, they just take it down. They don't issue something out saying, hey, this was wrong, to at least play some damage control. Hey, we fucked up. They just take it down. So you have a bunch of people that now just assume that something you said that was complete horseshit is a fact, who are going to recite that as if it's a fact, despite the fact that you took it down because it wasn't one. And that's where you run into issues.
I think that modern internet journalists understand the fact that only like 10% of people are going to actually read the article, and they're just going to share the headlines for the links, and that's it. All modern news is today is a headline, a bold title headline, which is like 10 words, and some picture that has something to do with whatever the headline
Sometimes
is.
It's not even from the same time period.
Sometimes it's photoshopped.
Like the pictures of the kids in cages on the border that they used against Trump, they were all Obama's.
They were like 8 years old, like in the Obama administration. And then when like AOC was taking those pictures of her supposedly at the border.
Cringiest. I gotta find those pictures. Yeah. Anyway, continue. What were you saying?
Where she was like supposedly at the border, and then she's like wasn't actually at the border. She's like crying in the pictures and stuff. Like, and then they're like, these pictures weren't at the border, dude. Like they were like somewhere in Texas or something. They were completely staged. Like
cringiest. Yeah, here, I found them right here. Give me just a second. The absolute cringiest photo shoot a politician has ever done. She should have been forced to resign for this. Like there's one.
It's like not even at the border.
Yeah.
Looks like it's at like a prison or something.
I know. Like like some prison. Like imagine like what is this bitch doing?
She's not a good
This is my favorite one, is this face.
Yeah. Got all dolled up. They go.
Yeah, she's got like fucking $400 worth of makeup on her face right now.
Which you guys paid for in New York, by the way.
Taxpayers are footing the bill for that one. That's does anyone take that woman seriously? AOC?
I don't know, man. I feel like they elected her as a meme, but
they did. I feel like she won a primary against, from what it sounds like, a guy that was just really lazy, who was your typical Joe Biden moderate Democrat, just boring and shit. And that was kind of during the whole Bernie Sanders thing. But I feel like, but I don't know. She's there for good. She ain't gonna lose, dude. She's got so much money backing her. No chance in hell. You're not going to get rid of her through a primary, through a general election, nothing. That's your new Nancy Pelosi. Hope you enjoy.
You think she'll be one of the ones that like takes over the DNC like after Nancy Pelosi sheds her skin and turns into her third form,
back to her reptilian self,
goes back into space.
Yeah, her husband got a DUI.
Pelosi's husband. Yeah, surprised they didn't just the California secret police didn't just murder all those cops.
Yeah, all the cops that pulled him over.
They just didn't assassinate all those cops.
You realize whose husband this is?
The California Schutzstaffel didn't go in there and knock on their doors like, "Where is the cop that pulled over Mr. Pelosi?"
Yeah, no shit. It's Schwarzenegger.
It's like, oh, it was me.
Yeah, suicide by shooting himself in the back of the head 3 times.
His head and chest.
Yep. But yeah, no, I don't think she'll ever I don't think she'll ever be Speaker of the House or anything like that, but she'll be a mouthpiece for sure. The thing is, you got to ask, like, she's loud and I think she pisses a lot more conservatives off than they actually should be, because I really don't think anyone takes her all that seriously.
I don't think so either.
She's really just a Democratic vote, which is what that district was.
Can just make fun of.
Yeah, dude, she's one vote. She's not swaying anybody in Congress's opinion. That district was going to be hard blue no matter what. She's not going to vote any different than the guy that was in there before her. The only difference is she's just louder about it. And I think a lot of conservatives, she gets on their nerves, and it's just like, name one piece of legislation she's even gotten out of a committee that's done it. She's nothing. She hasn't done anything. She's a moron. And I feel like people just
a bartender, man, that
literally
got voted into Congress. There's a reason like a lot of Congress people are like have doctorates and are ex-army, like high, like really high ranking officers or something. Is it's like you would think that you would want your leadership in government
or like
that represents you,
like successful businessmen,
to be some kind of like pedigree of intelligence, you know what I mean?
Right.
Whether it's a doctorate or like have done something, like own a really successful company.
Right.
It's like, it does kind of suck to say that like that's how all these like the elite end up getting up there into Congress and everything. But it's like,
you don't want a moron though.
Yeah, I don't want Joe fucking truck driver being a congressman.
I don't want if Joe ran his own company, maybe. Like I want, it's like you said, you need to have some type of. It's not just a normal job.
He runs his own company, as in what? He's got like 3 of his friends that drive under. That's not. That's a fucking. That's just Joe Schmo who has like a couple truck. I want some guy that owns like 200 truck drivers and also like he owns a bunch of other stuff.
Just
like,
the operational side and shit. But no, but like what I'm saying is, it's like
that guy's not Skeeter wearing an American flag hat going like, you do, we're gonna vote damn dare Ukraine. Like
that's my thing is, you need to have been successful to some degree at it's a business, military service, academia, something, because like you said,
Skeeter,
it's a challenging job. You have to think. And
bless his heart, Skeeter, man. He's drives his truck real good, and the country depends on him to do that. But your talents probably should not be as a congressman.
And nothing against bartenders or truck drivers, but those aren't jobs that make you think. I mean, sure, you got to think. Do I get captain or do I get bottle cleaner to put in this person's drink? I mean, sure, but I mean, it's a lot of manual labor shit. And yes, I'm sorry, but I do want my elected official to, have to,
dude, they
been
have to
in some position where he's been successful and had to think about shit.
They sit on committees that deal with like very, very complicated, like situations and stuff. Like if you sit on like a committee that, because like Congress are the ones that vote to go to war, like generally the ones that sit on those committees are like ex-army officers or like CIA guys or something, like
Crenshaw. God, that piece of
Dan
shit.
Crenshaw is on like probably a committee to go, like the war committee. Like fucking John McCain was like the head of the war committee, I think, in Congress for the longest time. Like,
dude. Well, and so do you really trust Skeeter to read the 80-page bill? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, most of the congressmen don't even read any of the bill.
No,
anyway.
That's true.
Like,
that's true. But what, dude, Crenshaw is just so cringy. Crenshaw. It's like
he's like the typical boomer conservative, man. Like
he is, and it's, dude, everyone on the right hates him, and everyone on the left hates him. It's just such a fucking. It's a beautiful unity.
Because like his thing will be like if he's ever against something, his thing will just be like, well, I think we should just wait for the facts. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, bro, that's like not a good reason. Like, not, you know what I mean? You can give other objective reasons, but like not just, well, I don't know about that one. Like that's his whole reason for everything.
He blocked Ricky Hernandez on Instagram.
Why? Was he talking too much shit to him?
Yeah, he commented and asked if he'd let him make love to his eye hole.
I don't think, dude, I don't think if government officials are using Twitter to do like official like stuff,
I don't think they should be able to either.
They shouldn't be able to block people, man. That's like freedom of speech, dude, bro. You fucking government official. You need to hear just as
you
much
have to
BS
take the abuse. If you feel threatened, go to the Secret Service.
It comes with your $600,000 fucking wage or whatever the fuck they get. Like, you know what I mean?
We shared a meme. It just said, "Please, it was a woman. Please, we need formula for our babies." And it was Crenshaw going, "Sounds pretty pro-Russia to me."
Basically, dude.
God, I hate that fucking guy. Like that video we shared where he was like attacking the little girl.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's like, if you had brown skin, I would have blown you up by now.
Like Dan Crenshaw used to be kind of like a fucking guy that people used to kind of like because he was like, in the libtards type, but in Congress, you know what I mean? And he had a cool eye patch, but now it just makes him look like a James Bond villain. Like,
yeah, it does. I mean, he used to go on Rogan and shit, and I think him coming out in support of red flag laws is really
even him on Rogan, man, he didn't sound intelligent on Rogan. No, like that's what I'm quoting him.
He sounds like a neocon Warhawk shill.
Yeah, dude. When he's giving it, like Joe will be like, "So why don't you like this?" He's like, "Well, I think we should just sit back and wait. It's not evident to me that it's gonna be doing anything." And that's basically just him being like, with more words, being like, "I don't like it.
I don't like it. I was told
I don't like it. No,
I don't." One-eyed Mitch McConnell is what he is.
Basically, he's just no different than any other neocon fuck out there. In
He's
Congress.
Our next president, so.
God, no. I think DeSantis, I
agree.
100% don't know. No, I know. I would be willing to wager like the house on it that fuck her. What's the saying? I'd put the farm on it that Biden's not going to win re-election. I
put money a year ago that DeSantis would be the next president or would win the 2024 election. And
I've never from any other president heard as much open dissent from for a president as
even
I do
with
right
Trump.
now. Even with Trump, even with when the economy was in the crapper with Bush, like when
with Trump, you heard like the blue checkmark mafia was up in arms, right? But Biden, it's like people at the grocery store bitching. You go to
get your haircut, and the haircut person is like, "Haha, it's expensive thanks to Biden."
Yeah, no, seriously, dude. You got I was at the fucking grocery store not too long ago, and this lady picks up a thing of hamburger and it's like $9 now for for barely any of it, right? And she goes, "Well, no more mean tweets," right? And I'm like, "Yep, you're right."
Dude, oh my god, I was literally filling up my water jug yesterday.
Yeah,
and there was a guy with his his kids there filling up water jugs for because a lot of people do that here in El Paso. Have the 5-gallon water jugs like you would see at the office. Like a lot of people have those here. So and it's like a public commodity thing where you go and you get like $1. But the price of water went up to $1.25 from $1 from a couple months ago. That's a 25% increase. That's insane.
Yeah.
So but I was filling it up, and this little girl was like, "Dad, why'd the water go up in price?" And the guy was just like, "You can blame Biden for that one." And I was like, "Christ, dude! Dude, he's not wrong."
It's not like Trump where it was the media elites and the blue check marks that just hated him. Dude, it's the common person has resentment.
The regular folk know. Well, I mean, they're not wrong though. It's the thing is it actually is the Biden administration's fault that it's so expensive.
They've been in office long enough, dude. If this shit were happening if Trump were president right now, they'd be blaming everything on him.
Talk to any lefty who tells you I don't even want to say lefty but that's the only people that will defend Biden for some reason. Fuck it, they'll try to be like, "Oh, so how's Biden control gas prices?" And then you tell them well, they OFAC sets trade sanctions which make gas go up, which made inflation go up a lot, right? And they're just like, well, it was justified because who else was going to stop? Right? It's so we just went from you accepting the fact now that it's Biden's fault.
Yeah, it's Biden's fault. Yeah, now you got to justify it.
So now you're completely switching your tone now that somebody like that has a little bit of knowledge of how our government works.
And I love when they show the comparison of the U.S.'s gas prices to everywhere else. I'm like, yeah, well, guess what, smooth brain? We're in a global economy now, right? And the U.S. is one of the leaders in that. So number one, the policies he makes directly affects the rest of the world. Number two, our oil, we have the capability of being energy independent. So yes, their oil should be higher than ours. And they're also, number three, they're relying on Russia for a lot of their oil over in Europe. And obviously Russia's cut a bunch of them off.
And not only that,
theirs is going to be higher.
Not only that, they rely on Saudi Arabia. right? And the reason that the dollar is so strong or was so strong was because Saudi Arabia, who is like the third largest exporter of oil in the fucking world, behind the US, and like I'd have to double look. I know like one of the top exporters of oil in the world, right?
Sure.
Very, very powerful in the world economy. They used to exclusively do dealings in US dollars. So basically, if any other country wanted to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, they had to do it with US dollars, which would make the US dollar strong in the global economy. Now, though, when Russia invaded and cut off all the ties and everyone was sanctioned for it, well, now the Saudi Arabian government will do dealings in rubles and in Chinese yen. So now the US dollar is like fucked because of that. They called it the petrodollar because a lot of the strength of the US dollar was backed by the fact that you had to use it to buy petroleum from the Saudi Arabia. So,
and we were under Trump for the first time in our history an exporter of gas because we had a surplus of oil. And we're not anymore because Joe shut down all the pipelines, man. And not only did he shut down all the pipelines, he revoked drilling permits for oil companies in the United States. It's almost like this shit's like, at what point do we ask if shit's on purpose, man?
You can tout and be like, oh, yay, the environment and everything. But now we're cutting the effects of the real life effects of that. And you have to take your L when it's like when people are complaining that the gas is so expensive and everything is so expensive because of gas prices being high. You have to take the L of it being from lefty policies that protected the earth, and now we're paying for it. Like,
and I'm not one of those like big business whack job libertarians that's all defund the EPA and we should let companies pour pollutants in rivers and shit. But you got, fucking the effects of offshore drilling aren't going to, save that guy who's about to be evicted from his home next month. The positive effects of getting rid of offshore drilling are not going to save that guy. The average American's going to vote on how much money is in his pocket.
This feels to me a lot like the Carter thing. I mean, obviously I didn't live under Carter, but like I remember in my political science class in college, they used Carter as the best example of like people voting with the economy. Because like Carter went in and did all these fucking things, and then inflation was super crazy under Carter. And he got voted out, dude. I think didn't Reagan come in, or not Reagan? Didn't Nixon come in after Carter?
I think so. Hang on one sec. I lost my video. Hold on one sec. My back. God damn it. That's why I love these things. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Son of a bitch.
Reagan was the one that succeeded him. Oof.
Yeah, Reagan was the one that succeeded. I went black, man. God damn it.
Maybe we'll just edit that.
No, I'll never go back. Let me just end the broadcast real quick and I'll send you a new one.
Okay, cool.
Sorry, man. And we're back. Sorry about that. My screen just went black. Camera cut out, but I went black and I came back.
It's the California Schutzstaffel, man. They're attacking us.
That's they do. Gene in cahoots with them. God, we can't not talk about that. Fuck. About Gene Stothert.
Gene got remarried, man.
Less than a year after your husband dies, you remarry to another doctor. Gene. I mean, I was saying it as a joke, but it's a little suspect for someone who didn't kill her husband. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you did it, but I don't know.
Objections to this. What's from the thing they say? Objection, hearsay.
Hearsay. Johnny Depp's trial. Yeah, I'm just like Gene. What are you doing now, Gene? Like, what are you hiding from us? And I love how they all like celebrated it. They're like, congratulations, Mayor Stothert. And I'm like, yeah, I bet she when her term's up, I bet she either runs for Congress or governor.
I hope she doesn't win any. I think she's a horrible fucking mayor, dude.
I think she is too. But I think she my theory, actually, no, I can't say my theory. It'll get us sued. But I think
fair use, can't sue us.
Yeah, comedy podcast. It's all a joke. I don't mean anything I say. But no, I think she wants to. She's very power hungry, and I think that she wants to be either Congress, Senate, governor, something next. She does not want to stop at mayor. I promise you.
You think so, man?
I guarantee she will make at least one more run for office.
mayors have a lot of power, though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it might just be localized, but like localized, you have a lot of freaking power, dude.
Right.
Like,
yep. You don't have fucking power to fire the bitch that put the mask mandates in, though. So whatever.
She has the power to arrest all the dissenters and the freaking to make an executive order to arrest all of the protesters.
She arrests everybody. Yeah.
She ordered all of them to be arrested, dude.
Yeah. Did she really?
Yeah, she ordered them to be arrested and illegally held in like jails and stuff like that, right, dude, for protesting.
Mean Gene.
That was her order to do that, and like there was all these like legal firms in Omaha that were being like, hey, if Gene's orders have affected you from this, they're illegal, and we will do these cases for you like with no charge.
I can't believe they didn't get sued.
Maybe. I mean, dude, they're like the mayor's office. They're protected. You know what I mean? But
yeah, but if they violate your constitutional rights, there's like lawsuits. There's like they owe you restitution or something.
Which maybe they will in court. Who knows? Trials like that always take a really long time. And that only happened a few years ago. So
take it from me, man. Trials take forever for especially civil suits. But yeah. So no, we were talking about Biden, and I really think that the I did that stickers are actually a very effective marketing strategy.
And he doesn't. It's like not even. It's just people that put him off, dude.
Yeah,
like
it's not like the Republican Party or any. I mean, think about it, man. When you're sitting there at the pump grumbling about putting $60 into your car that used to cost $30 to fill, what kind of reminder does that serve as every time Biden's there? I did it. The
thing is, too, is it's not wrong. Like, it really isn't wrong. Like,
it's simplistic, but it's not wrong.
It's a simplistic view of it, but it's not a wrong view of it. It's right. His administration is directly responsible for this inflation. Like,
they're a train wreck. It's been a complete train wreck. And you know who? When Carter, after his first term, it was a controversial Republican governor from a then swing state that smoked him in the election.
California, so. I know, right? Reagan, dude.
California, yep.
Not only that, but I mean, dude, a lot of people think Reagan was a good president. Like a lot of historians do.
Yeah,
not us, but
I mean, we don't like him for different reasons. He did a solid job pulling him out of economic.
They lowered the inflation from like 14 to like 4.4%.
Yeah, and he handled the Cold War probably a little bit better than Carter did, and a lot bit better. But
yeah, right.
But he did
got Germany to unify. So I guess
he definitely handled things better than Carter did, and that was the other thing. It's just like now you had tensions with Russia.
I'll say, because I mean we're critical of presidents and stuff here. Mm-hmm. There's plenty of records of us doing it. I've been on record and said that I don't think everything Obama did was 100% bad. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think anything any president ever does 100% is bad. But what good has Biden done, realistically?
I truly cannot think of anything good Joe Biden has done.
What has his administration done that's been successful? Like, they didn't pull out of Afghanistan successfully. You know what I mean? Trump was going to do it, but like they never pulled the trigger on it, probably because he had all this intel that it would be like that.
A train wreck? Yeah.
A train wreck. So that's why they didn't do it. They've been slowly pulling out of Afghanistan since I was in the military in 2012.
Yeah.
Like closing down bases, trying to hand over the keys to the ANA. And then Biden was just like, all right, let's pull it. Let's do it. Everybody out right now. And it's
dude.
Lost all that equipment and stuff. It's like, that's why they didn't do it like that over the past 10 years.
Like, they haven't handled COVID well. They haven't handled the Russia-Ukraine situation well. They haven't handled the border situation well. They haven't handled inflation well.
It's terrible. The inflation was kicked up way worse. And I 100% think that like before the war started in Ukraine and everything, like the open war with Russia, dude, that how we were kind of seeing that inflation starting to happen was kind of like just the effects of COVID of 2 years on the economy. You know what I mean? Like, stimulus might have contributed to it a little bit, but like not like, but this inflation right now is straight up from the global conflict, which is
absolutely that we're fanning the flames of.
And that we are fanning the flames of. Exactly.
40 billion. We can't secure our own schools. We'd rather stand on kids' graves and just let them get mowed down so we can use it as an excuse to call for gun control.
But we can send
securing our schools.
We can send Unicorn Brigade's javelins, though, that cost like $150,000 a piece.
We send a fucking intercontinental ballistic missiles with a pride flag on the side of them.
But
no, but I mean, we can. We can let kids get slaughtered in schools and refuse to put security there, even though we protect politicians with armed guards. But
so I'm just saying, like, even like nobody in their right mind, if you tried to say, well, the Biden administration came up with the fucking the vaccine for COVID, I'm like, dude, the administration had nothing to do with it.
And it was actually under Trump when it first started. So
like he literally has done nothing good.
Nothing. They've done nothing.
I really can't. I would have to struggle really hard.
I'd love for someone to comment and tell me something he's done.
Yeah,
good,
dude.
truly.
Like Trump was a jackass, but at least he ended the fucking Korean War officially, and the economy was doing pretty good.
And guess what? Now that he's gone, he's fucking threatening to shoot nukes at us again.
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah,
he's not gonna shoot nukes at us, man. They're a Chinese puppet state. They won't do anything unless China lets them do it. But
for sure, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But still, though, like that war officially ended, though. Like it had an official end date. It was not hot.
Yeah.
And then when through his Twitter shit posting, ended the Korean War and actually went to North Korea. That's insane, dude. That's insane to think that a president Twitter shit posted the Korean War to end.
I think I'll tell you this. I think Joe Biden, the one positive thing that's come out of his presidency is I think a lot of people got red pilled from it, and they realized that a lot of people are starting to realize, man, that the Washington elites, not only do they not want what's best for you, they actively want the worst for you. Some of them do.
The career left politicians like Clinton and yeah, man.
Obama,
I really hope that the Democratic Party can kind of rebrand themselves as a little bit more like a Clinton-esque, like moderate type, like moderate left, more for the workers type shit, because they're definitely not right now, man.
Joe Mansions. But yeah,
the thing is, it's like Tulsi Gabbard is like the only active Democratic person that I know on the like congressional level.
She's not in it anymore. She retired.
So there you go. I don't know any Democratic politicians out there that are moderate. You know what I mean? I can name a couple moderate conservative ones, but I can't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
did you see when Tulsi Gabbard was trolling Hillary Clinton?
No, what was she doing?
Hillary got pissed at her about something. Hillary called her a Russian asset. And Tulsi released a statement saying, "I am not suicidal and never have been."
That's hilarious,
dude.
A
fucking based. But yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I think DeSantis is going to be the next I fucking vote for him at this point. Like,
look at how he handled COVID in Florida. I mean, look at how Florida is doing pretty good right now. You know what I mean?
In a state full of old people too, and they that's comparable fucking COVID numbers to all the lockdown states.
People love DeSantis in Florida too. They're like, they don't want him to run for president because then they're going to lose him as the governor.
I know, and. Yeah, I think DeSantis would do a solid job as president. There's obviously stuff I disagree with him on, but right now the big thing is just fucking.
I think the biggest thing for the next presidential election is going to be the inflation in the economy. Dude, that's what people are going to vote on is their wallets and.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's people. If that'll determine it. There's a chance that this Ukraine shit resolves itself in the next year and stuff starts getting better, but I don't think that's going to happen.
It's not going to happen, man. The war is slowing down. Russia wasn't able to take the war. Russia wasn't able to take this huge ass country in like a month.
Yeah, they wanted shock and awe, but it didn't work.
Especially with like the entire Western world supporting and literally fighting in the war. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many Western volunteers fighting in the Ukraine right now. Like, I think it's going to turn into a slower conflict, and I think Russia is going to probably get more countries involved on their side with it.
Belarus,
Belarus is already in it, I mean, they could get Iran to support them. They could get China to send military. China has been looking for a reason to flex their military and get the troops to fight in conflict anyway to get combat experience. Like,
well, Xi had a stroke.
Did he?
Not too long ago. Yeah,
that really happened.
Yep.
I don't think Xi, like, it doesn't matter. Like, there's a ton of other people.
It's the same as Russia.
It'll be the same thing. If they get another leader, it'll be the same shit.
And honestly, man, same as the United States. Like, we have elections and shit, but the president really doesn't have that
kind of only in the fact that it's like two people. Because like, it showed like the Trump and the fucking Biden were like the complete opposite ends and shit. You know what I mean?
I still loved their debates with each other, man.
Will you shut up, man?
Dude, do you remember when Trump just immediately when Joe said he needs to get smarter? And Trump, let me see if I can find it. Well, we got to end it pretty soon, but
yeah.
Let me see if I can find the video of it, dude. It was one of the greatest moments in United States political history. Just fucking immediately just launches into an attack on him.
That's funny. Honestly, when Trump got voted out, I was a little bit relieved in the fact that I was like, now people can finally shut the fuck up about Trump.
Right.
But of course, that didn't happen, and then of course, like we got an even worse like president.
Piece of shit with a dick is what we got. Yeah, here we go. Here we go.
Dangerous is going to be back in February, and he didn't even tell you. He's on record as saying it. He panicked, or he just looked at the stock market. One of the two, because guess what?
Good Joe bugging his eyes out.
And a lot more are going to die unless he gets a lot smarter, a lot quicker.
So,
Mr. President?
Did you use the word smart? So you said you went to Delaware State, but you forgot the name of your college. You didn't go to Delaware State. You graduated either the lowest or almost the lowest in your class. Don't ever use the word smart with me. Don't ever use that word.
Oh, give me a break.
Because you know what? There's nothing smart about you, Joe. 47 years, you've done nothing.
Let's have this debate.
And if you would have had, let me just tell you something, Joe. If you would have had the charge of what I was put through, I had to close the greatest economy in the history of our country. And by the way, now it's being built again.
See,
and
he's
it's
going to get
up
to the
fast.
economy in the next.
Yeah.
Oh, the economy. Yeah. Oh, like that's not an important thing, Joe.
Yeah.
Now we're like in inflation and
Yep.
Oh God.
There's nothing smart about you, Joe. That was just the fucking. He started with that, dude. Trump was just the ultimate bully. I remember in the Republican primary in 2016, they asked him a question. They said, "President or Mr. It wasn't president yet, Mr. Trump,
please clap."
Jeb Bush, yeah. They were like,
that was the
Trump.
best presidential election ever. Was 2016.
Oh, dude, it was so crazy. Yeah, it was like 2020 was just. It kind of felt like something out of a dystopian nightmare. But 2016 was like fucking hilarious. It was comedy. It was pure gold. Whatever. They're like, Mr. Trump, there's a lot of questions about your temperament. Do you feel like you have the temperament to be president? And his answer was, well, first off, Rand Paul has no business being on this stage. He has lower poll numbers than anybody else here. Wasn't even at 1%. He's a complete joke, and his campaign's been a total disaster. that was his answer to his temperament. He just picked one person and bullied them off. And that's how he won the whole thing. It was phenomenal. I loved it. It was. I didn't vote for him. But
remember the Jeb shit. The Jeb Bush stuff was so funny, dude. Like, and putting on the fucking what they put on, like the Obey fucking sweater or whatever.
Yeah.
They put on some like skinny sweatshirt, like
some hoodie. Yeah.
That shit was so funny.
Dude, Jeb was the biggest joke. Jeb reminded me of Will Ferrell. In the campaign. That's who he reminded me of.
He's like selling the guacamole bowls. They both call him the guac vendor and shit. Do not vote this guac vendor. That's what people would say about Jeb.
I love the like fake electoral maps where it's like
Jeb was
Trump,
like 100%.
0 Biden, 0 Jeb, 100%.
And it's like yellow, and it's like him, like the Christ thing. Like,
oh my God. Yeah,
that election was funny, man. It was like funny and like oh God, we're gonna get blown up kind of way. Like dark humor, like we see the train is about to crash off the fucking bridge and we're just laughing about it. Type.
Right.
Like,
and then 2020 was us in the train rolling off the cliff.
We had already crashed and we're like fucking climbing out, going like, all right, what do we do now?
We gotta do something about this now. Like so I mean another like so the Libertarian Party had its convention last weekend, and normally it wouldn't even be anything worth mentioning because they really don't do anything worth mentioning. But they had the Mises Caucus, I believe it's called. I believe that's how it's pronounced, Mises. After Ludwig von Mises, they basically initiated a hostile takeover. And they got rid of all the like boomer libertarian type That's well, drag queens reading to kindergartners is a human right type. You got rid of all the weirdos that people have. That's Green Party, but people like there's a lot of weirdos in the Libertarian Party.
Who was the one that ran under the Libertarian Party for president?
Jorgensen. Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Like
Jorgensen.
People like her. No, their whole goal was like, let's run these fucking freaks out of the party that show up and they fucking paint their hair rainbow colors and I'm a non-binary fish type, and they
the
ran
libertarians
a lot of
they voted out all the ANCAPs.
They voted out a lot of the ANCAP, like not even ANCAPs, but just like left-leaning libertarian types, the Gary Johnson types, and people like that. And they want to completely change how the party goes, like what direction. So that'll be interesting to see if they can make some noise. I'm still 100% critical that they keep running people from president and they don't try to win like local elections. They do run people for local elections. They should focus more on that than even running a presidential candidate if they wanted to do anything. So I think you have to run someone for president, just so you have someone on the ballot and it's reminding people. And I think that's a lot of money that they use for campaigning for that they could be using for states like, I don't know, South Carolina or fucking New Hampshire, Georgia or some shit. Ones that don't have really strong conservative type, like congressmen or something that don't make a lot of noise in the national level. Yeah. They could run a libertarian guy. I mean, I haven't been registered libertarian for years, but to their credit, when I drunkenly signed up to run for city council, they were in my inbox asking if I needed help or support or if I wanted them to go knock on doors for me and shit. And I was like, I'm sober and I'm not going to do this now. So it's been 16 hours. No, absolutely not. No, I'm not running for city council. Could you imagine? Oh my God. A libertarian being in city council would be funny too. See, I'm not really even a libertarian, but like, I don't want to run for city council because city council's winnable. Okay. Like if I really, really tried and I got some really dedicated people to go knock on doors and make phone calls and shit for me, and I got lucky. You don't need it's not like it's governor where you need all this dark money, like a couple grand, right? There just needs to be more people in Congress, and it used to typically be like the Republicans, but now they just do this bullshit too. But like there just needs to be more people in Congress that like go onto the floor and read through the bills and be like, why do we need this? Rand Paul does that. Rand Paul does, and he's the only one. If there was 10 of them in there, it doesn't even matter though, because they've all been told how to vote, so it doesn't even change. Which that sucks, but you know what I mean. Like I just wish there was libertarians in there to almost like audit the president, like the congressional bills. Yeah, like not even to like vote on stuff. Thomas Massey's another one. To just be in there and be like, why do we need to be sending money to Iran for gender studies stuff? Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like to bring that to the public so the public can be like, hey, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Dude, at least the information's out there. I should run for city council. You work one day a month and make an extra $40,000 a year. Really? Yeah. Wow. You'd have to stay pretty informed on stuff going on in the city, man. The mayor doesn't. I don't even know who my city council. Well, I won't be an Omaha resident in like 25 days, so I won't be able to. Oh, are you moving out of the city proper? I will be a La Vista resident in 25 days. Run for the La Vista City Council. I bet you that. See, the problem with La Vista City Council is way too winnable. Like, if I tried, I could probably win. La Vista City Council is probably just a bunch of like old boomers anyway, dude. Like, I would go in there. That are like, I would mop the parking lot. I would mop the floor with them. I'd be like, I'm going to run for city council. I'm going to sit on that for 2 years, and I'm going to run for mayor. And my platform, we're going to annex Omaha. That's going to be... and Lincoln. We're going to build up the entire area between Omaha and Lincoln and make us one super city. And then we're going to invade Council Bluffs. Yeah, we're going to invade Council Bluffs. We're going to blow up the Omaha Police Department. We're going to occupy Council Bluffs. And a hostile, and then Nebraska's map is going to be like this with a little bump over Council Bluffs. Yes, that's what we're gonna get the governor to support it with the National Guard, and we're gonna invade the state of Iowa. Could you imagine? That's a joke. I'm not really calling the violence on that. No, there wouldn't be much violence. It'd be a peaceful occupation, right? Like, it'd be like Hitler occupying the Sudetenland in the 38-7 or whatever. Yeah, no. God, could you imagine if I was just like this like fucking suburb of Nebraska? I was this radical mayor. We're gonna annex the whole state. The eastern fucking half of the state's ours.
They just redraw the maps, and now it's like, what are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? What would you think would honestly happen under that? Man?
I think once a city gets to a certain size, you can't annex it. So I don't even think they'd be able to.
Well, what are they gonna do when our police are over there in their fancy MRAPs, dude?
We declare war on a
What
city.
are they gonna do with our city's MRAPs over there, holding off the insurgents in Council Bluffs?
The feds have to come in because I've actually started a conflict between two cities.
Like activate like the fucking military in Fort Riley and probably like
I'd be in prison.
It'd be like martial law for a little while.
Yeah.
Like
I'd be in like a military tribunal. Like it wouldn't even be a fucking joke. It would be totally worth it for the bit. Okay.
The whole thing was to make people laugh. This
I started a war between two cities. I'll be like, no, dude, we're gonna conquer Omaha. Okay, I'll be like Putin crossing into Ukraine over Harrison Street, fucking riding in a tank,
crossing over the river, dude, and like
People
the bridge or the river crossings with fucking like MRAPs from the Omaha Police Department, dude.
People are
with
going
the Nebraska flag, like Washington crossing the Delaware, dude, like standing on the MRAP turrets.
That'll be my campaign. Will just be one Nebraska,
one Omaha.
That's my slogan. Yeah, one La Vista because I'll be mayor.
Yeah, one La Vista. Yeah,
one La Vista. That'll be
La Vista und über alles. Like
I'll be a fucking. I just conquer the other cities. It's completely unheard of.
Ralston not there anymore.
Nope. Yeah, no, it's like we nationalized.
Arena's now called the Arena.
we nationalized the fucking we nationalized all the firework tents in the Vista, and we use them for like explosives. Like we've commenced a bombing operation on Papillion today.
Are there fireworks factories in Nebraska anywhere?
I don't know about factories, but I know that I'm just like the tent. I think the factories are all in like China and shit.
Are they really?
Yeah, they all come up from. They're all shipped in, but see how that goes this year with everything locked in the harbor.
Oh man, yeah. But imagine Omaha's not going to sound like a war zone this year. Probably it's going to sound like a minor skirmish.
Well, it'll sound like an actual war zone once I take office. And we invade. That's
completely tongue in cheek. There, it's not real. Shut up.
I'm not actually. I don't even know who the mayor of La Vista is. I don't even know how to declare for office.
Yeah, I wonder who is. Let's look that up. Do they even have a mayor? Mayor Douglas Kittig has served the city of La Vista since 1994.
Oh,
he was on the Parks and Rec Advisory Board.
He's long overdue for an ass kicking, is what I hear there.
Man, I'm gonna kick your ass on SummerSlam this year. You better come out wearing a neck brace, because I'm gonna slam you on your ass. Give me a hell yeah! You just run your entire campaign like a wrestling promo.
See, I didn't know, but I knew someone who knew the guy that ran against him like 4 or 6 years ago.
Really?
And it was like he ran under the marijuana party, and his his hot button campaign issue was not marijuana. It was having La Vista host the Olympics. Not Omaha, La Vista to be the next host of the Summer Olympics.
All right.
Because they had built some like city rec center gym. And
all right. I've been to the La Vista City Rec Center, dude. That's funny. That's definitely not big enough for that.
Dude, cities go bankrupt. Like cities like Chicago can't afford like the security. Imagine like La Vista.
Yeah, that was like how Mitt Romney, like his claim to fame was that he hosted the Olympics in Utah and like actually turned a profit over it.
Yeah,
which was like unheard of. That's like how he gained all this fame. Like,
yep. And now he's just another fucking Dan Crenshaw. So
yeah, right.
We hate Dan Crenshaw on the show, if you guys haven't noticed. Should we call the show Occupy Council Bluffs?
Occupy Council Bluffs,
episode?
Dude. The call to arms.
Yep, I'm
Occupy
with you.
Council Bluffs.
Yep.
No, I call to arms one La Vista.
Yeah, one La Vista. There you go. That's the episode. That's a call to arms. That's let's wrap it up here though. We got June 10th, Friday. You'll be on the show.
I will.
Beach
Come
House
out and see
formerly.
me, dude. I got a bunch of new stuff that I've tried out with some people. I wonder, am I going to get a chance to? I wonder to get an open mic in before
When
that.
will you be in town?
Tomorrow. I fly out tomorrow morning, so
I'm assuming you're probably not going to want to hit an open mic the next day.
I would. Yeah, fuck yeah, I will.
Okay, well, my mic at Wired is that night. At
There you
6:10.
go. So come see me. I'll be trying out some material up there.
Thursday.
They'll sneak peek into Nick Kohler's return to the stage here, kind of.
Yep.
Other than
It'll
these
be
El
lit.
Paso audiences, which are kind of.
Well, no, it should be fun. Yeah, we got Ronnie Glenn Williams from Wichita, Kansas, headlining. It'll be lots of fun. Use promo code BREAD for $2 off your tickets. We'll have that posted.
My
soon.
daughter's gonna come up onto the stage. She's gonna do 5-minute bit of her just saying poo poo pee pee and laughing.
Yep.
Dude, that's a crowd killer, man.
And then I have completely changed my set to be the typical hack. My wife comics.
My wife stepped on my foot. And then I smacked her upside the head.
Spousal abuse is now 90% of my material.
My wife overcooked the chicken, so I beat her with a lead pipe.
Oh my God. All right. Well,
I tell you, Janine, the amount of money we could have used on medical bills, you could have bought better chicken.
It's been fun. We will be back next week. We're supposed to have Monty Scott on, so we'll see.
We'll see. That's the plan, man. And which, for that one next week, by the way, will be Nicholas Kohler and Caleb Salvatore in the same room for the first time in a pretty long time. So that'll be a cool show.
Live in studio for the first time in years. So, yes.
Literal years.
Hopefully no more freezing up from the camera. Anyway.
I'll just freeze up just to, keep the tradition going. I'll just
Yeah. All right.
I gotta go to everyone.
Gym. Peace the fuck out, y'all. Thank you so much.
He's gotta go spend time with his fiance.
That too. Peace the fuck out, y'all.
Deuces, y'all, everyone.